Welcome to KRA's The Hub, the official podcast of KRA Corporation. And now get ready to hear workforce topics and trends you need to know on the go.
All right, welcome to KRA's The Hub podcast. This is the host of KRA's The Hub podcast, Jonathan Overall. I'm excited. Today I am on site here in northern Akron, here in Ohio, the great state of Ohio, the Buckeye State. And KRA recently has come into the region of Summit and Medina County and is a direct service provider here at the Summit and Medina OMJ, Ohio Means Job Workforce Career Center. And I'm excited because today I'm joined by our project director, Cory Vojack, who oversees our operations and our teams here. And so, Cory, welcome to the Hub.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Awesome. It's great to be here on site with you and to see really the work that's being done here with the team and KRA now offering and providing services to the community here in northern Akron. Cory, could you start by sharing a bit about your background and your journey in workforce development and what led you to your current role here with KRA?
Sure, absolutely. So my journey in workforce development for me has been very purposeful and deeply rewarding. I started with a strong interest in helping people find meaningful opportunities, whether it was their first job, a career transition, or overcoming barriers to employment. So for me, early on, I worked in roles that focused on career counseling, where I supported individuals in identifying their strengths, building confidence, creating action plans to achieve these goals. And, as I gained experience, I began to see the broader systematic challenges that impact workforce development, issues like funding disparities, skill mismatches, and the need for stronger employer engagement. So this understanding kind of drove me to pursue roles that allowed me to shape programs and policies. And so over the years, I managed multi-million-dollar budgets, developed training initiatives, and built partnerships with public and private sector organizations. And I think what drew me to KRA was its reputation for innovation and community impact. KRA's approach to workforce development deeply resonates with me, prioritizing both the need of employers and job seekers while ensuring equity and inclusion. In my role as project director for Summit and Medina counties, I'm able to bring together these experiences in fiscal management, community outreach, and program development to create a workforce system that's both, responsive and impactful. And I think this journey taught me the importance of collaboration, adaptability, and staying focused on the ultimate goal, which is empowering individuals and strengthening our communities. It's been incredibly fulfilling to lead these initiatives that not only help people find jobs, but provide them with the tools and the confidence to build sustainable careers.
That's great. Yeah, I love how you talked about really your experience and even your alignment with your role and what you were looking for and the KRA values. Now, your workforce experience, it does span various roles from managing fiscal operations to spearheading community outreach initiatives. How would you say that this diverse set of experience and expertise has really shaped how you lead in your approach here at KRA?
Sure, absolutely. I think my background in workforce development has given me a well-rounded perspective on how all elements of the ecosystem work together. And this has deeply influenced my leadership style at KRA. So over the years, I've had the opportunity, like you mentioned, to manage various aspects of workforce development from fiscal operations, so including budgeting and grant management, to community outreach, involving building those relationships with local stakeholders and ensuring that our services are accessible and effective. I think this combination of skills allows me to approach problems from a strategic and a practical perspective. I think in terms of fiscal management, I developed a strong focus on efficiency and sustainability. I've learned how to maximize resources ensure compliance with funding requirements, and make sure that data-driven decisions are allocated to resources where they have the greatest impact. I think this mindset helps me lead with a results-oriented approach, ensuring that our programs not only meet the immediate needs of job seekers and employers, but also have long-term viability, whether it's overseeing, operating budgets or securing new funding sources. Fiscal responsibility is always a cornerstone of my leadership. And then, ensuring that we can continue to offer high quality services to our communities. But on the other hand, my experience with community outreach has helped me develop a deeper understanding of the importance of engagement and collaboration. It's one thing to design a program, but it's another to ensure that it reaches the people that need it most. I think this is where I lean heavily on relationships. I've seen firsthand how critical it is to build trust with local organizations, businesses, educational institutions, and other key stakeholders. So at KRA, I take an approach into engaging with the community, whether it's through hosting job fairs, leading strategic partnerships, or engaging directly with job seekers to understand their unique needs. This helps us kind of ensure our programs are tailored and accessible for diverse populations. I think additionally, though, my experience with working with both private sector business relations and private sector initiatives allows me to bridge the gap between those two worlds. I'm able to understand the priorities and the constraints of businesses while also navigating the regulatory and the policy landscape of workforce development programs. I think this dual perspective enables me to develop solutions that benefit both employers and job seekers. So I make it a priority to ensure that the team at KRA is constantly aligning with the labor market's evolving needs while advocating for policies that foster long-term workforce growth. But I think finally, empowering my team is part of my leadership style. Having worked in roles that require both independent decision-making and collaboration, I've learned the importance of providing clear direction while also fostering an environment where team members feel encouraged to bring their own ideas to the table. I aim to create a culture of continuous learning where team members have the resources, the support, and the autonomy to grow in their roles. I feel like this is not only strengths of the organization, but also directly impacts the quality of services we can offer our job seekers and our employer partners. So, yeah, ultimately, I think this broad experience has shaped me into the leader I am, who's just not focused on the outcomes, but creating these sustainable and collaborative environments that ensure success in our workforce programs.
And I think it's worth noting as well, with your experience, your previous role, you were an executive director of a workforce development board here in Northern Ohio. And I think that also, it brings a different look at the work that you're doing here. And you're taking the priorities that you had and how you viewed workforce development strategically. And I think you really brought that up as you talked about how we serve the customer, how we serve the businesses and the community partners. Now, I want to talk about the project currently at hand. Can you tell us about what KRA is currently doing here on this project in Summit and Medina counties? What are the primary goals? What are the objectives that you're working on with your team in this project right now?
Sure, absolutely. I think a core focus of our efforts is developing customized training pathways in collaboration with our local community colleges, our training centers, and employers. These programs are designed to give participants that hands-on experience and those certifications that directly align with employer needs. So, for example, we're working with partners that offer specialized training programs and healthcare certifications for those looking to enter roles such as licensed practical nurses or LPNs, which are in high demand. We're also focusing on technical certifications in fields like cybersecurity and IT, or advanced manufacturing, and a lot of our prominent manufacturers in the Northeast Ohio area, where these skill gaps are significant. But I think our primary goals for this project would include increasing the number of qualified candidates in key industries that are critical to our local economy. And then I think with that, creating a seamless pipeline from training to employment. So ensuring that participants not only gain the skills that they need, but they also have the access to job placements upon completion. That's super key. And also expanding access to workforce development opportunities for underserved populations, including individuals that face barriers to employment, such as those with criminal records, individuals with disabilities, and people transitioning from public assistance. And then I think a final point with it would be building strong employer partnerships. And this is ensuring that our training programs remain aligned with the industry needs. That's super key. And so that employers are actively engaged in the recruitment and hiring process of these program graduates. But I think aside from these primary goals, in addition, we're working to diversify the workforce pipeline in Summit and Medina counties. So this means increasing engagement with communities traditionally underrepresented in the workforce, such as our youth, minorities, women, and providing access to targeted training, career exploration, and supportive services. We can aim to help these groups gain confidence and skills necessary to succeed in today's super competitive labor market. And we're also working on offering mentorship and career coaching programs that provide ongoing support for participants even after they secure employment, because that's super important, having that support through the recruitment and after you find that job, that ideal career. I think one of the central aspects of this project is community engagement. Ensuring that our services are accessible to as many people as possible is essential. And we're using various outreach methods such as community forums, social media campaigns, and partnerships with local organizations to help raise awareness about the opportunities available. This approach ensures the residents of Summit and Medina counties that they're aware that the training and support services or resources that we offer are known and they can be accessed. And I think finally, we've been focused on collaborating with local economic development agencies to align workforce programs with the broader regional goals. So this includes connecting employers with a skilled workforce, fostering economic growth, and ensuring that the talent needs of our business community are constantly met. So by working with economic development partners, we also help create a more integrated workforce development strategy that supports sustainable growth for both the businesses and the workforce. And so I think all in all, I feel KRA's current work in some of Medina counties is centered around developing that comprehensive workforce development solutions that provide meaningful training, job placement, and supportive services to meet the region's growing workforce demands. Our objective is to ensure that the residents have the tools and the resources that they need to succeed in these high demand industries, while we also are helping our local employers find that qualified talent that they need to grow and thrive.
Yeah, you mentioned some things there that I think are really unique to this area. But also, again, we see them throughout the nation, but I think unique to the conversation we had earlier just around the industries that I know there are evolving in the area of polymer and tech as well in this region, and really a shift out of the traditional industrial manufacturing into working with companies or companies that are coming here like Intel that are producing chips. And so what you talked about, developing those pipelines, is really critical for this time that we're seeing here in Northern Ohio. Now, I'm going to ask you a question again about KRA. KRA is known for its innovative approaches in workforce development. What do you think makes KRA's work in Ohio stand out from other workforce development initiatives?
Sure, absolutely. I think KRA's work, especially here in Ohio, is distinctive because of its commitment to innovation, adaptability, and our community-first mindset. One of the key differentiators is our use of data-driven decision-making. So we leverage real-time market information to ensure our programs address the current and projected needs of both employers and job seekers. This helps us stay ahead of the curve in the rapidly changing economic landscape. I think another standout aspect is our focus on wraparound services. We understand that employment barriers often go beyond skills gaps. And with KRA, we provide holistic support, whether it's assisting with transportation, childcare, housing referrals, or mental health resources. So our job seekers have the stability they need to succeed. These personalized services ensure we're addressing each individual's unique challenges and opportunities. Additionally, I think our technology forward approach is another area where we really shine. I mean, for example, we're implementing virtual reality, career exploration, online learning platforms, and digital tools for job matching and skills assessments. So making these services accessible to a broader audience, including those in rural and underserved areas. I think what really truly sets us apart, though, is our focus on collaborative innovation. We don't work in a silo or in isolation. Instead, we actively engage employers, educators, community organizations to co-design programs. This ensures that we offer what is not only relevant, but also inclusive and impactful. A great example is our partnership with local businesses to develop customized training programs tailored to their hiring needs, which has resulted in higher placement and retention rates. So, and I think lastly, if I'm going through everything, our emphasis on continuous improvement keeps us ahead of other workforce development initiatives. We regularly evaluate our program outcomes, gather feedback from participants and partners, and we adapt to new changes and opportunities. I think this agility allows us to stay effective and maintain a forward-thinking approach. And I think KRA's work is rooted in the belief that workforce development is more about just finding a job. It's about creating sustainable, thriving communities where individuals have the tools and support they need to achieve long-term success. And I think that mission drives everything we do and makes our impact truly unique.
That's great. Now, we've talked a little bit about technology. We've talked about community initiatives and the focus here for the team and with KRA. We also just talked about some of the different industries that are currently here. Now, taking all of that, putting it together, when you look at the local labor market and how it plays a significant role really in us shaping workforce development programs, how does your team that's on the ground ensure that the services and the training that's offered, how do they ensure that that really aligns with the specific needs of employers and the job seekers that are in this region?
Right. Absolutely. I think the key to successfully aligning these workforce programs with the local labor market is simply listening and responding to the needs of both the employers and the job seekers. Here with KRA, we're multifaceted in our approach to ensure that, the programs remain relevant, impactful, and we're, future focused. I think firstly, we conduct regular labor market analysis. This will help identify current and emerging trends. So this includes tracking in-demand industries, high-growth occupations, and the skills employers are actively seeking. So in some of the Medina counties, sectors like healthcare, advanced manufacturing, and information technology consistently show high demand. By tailoring these training programs and services to these industries, we're helping job seekers acquire the skills that lead to sustainable employment while addressing critical talent shortages. But I think secondly, we maintain open lines of communication with our employers. Through advisory councils with employers, one-on-one consultations, and ongoing feedback loops, we gain a deeper understanding of the specific challenges businesses are facing. For example, if a local manufacturer is struggling to fill some roles due to the lack of a specific skill or a certification, we can quickly partner with a training provider to create a customized curriculum to meet that need and that demand. But we also prioritize job seeker engagement to understand their unique barriers, their aspirations, and skill gaps. Whether it's through surveys, focus groups, or our own one-on-one career counseling sessions, we ensure that their voices are at the center of our program design. This helps us offer services that are not only relevant in the market, but also accessible and inclusive for all individuals, including those from our underserved populations that we traditionally serve. I think our partnerships as well with local institutions and training providers are another cornerstone of our strategy. So by collaborating with these community colleges, our vocational schools, and our technical training centers, we're able to deliver programs that lead to an industry recognized credentials and certifications. So locally, institutions like Stark State College or the University of Akron, for instance, are key allies in equipping job seekers with the skills that employers demand. And I would say, finally, we utilize performance metrics and continuous feedback to refine these programs. Metrics like placement rates, retention rates, wage increases provide valuable insights into what's working and where we can improve. So by staying data-driven, we ensure that our programs remain aligned with the evolving needs of the regional labor market. And I think all in all, this more comprehensive approach ensures that KRA services in both Summit and Medina counties are not only meeting immediate workforce challenges, but we're also building that pipeline of talent that could sustain the local economy for years to come.
That's great. Now, you mentioned collaboration as one of the cornerstones of what we're doing here. And again, that's been a theme throughout. It's a theme within workforce development, collaboration, partnerships. And you highlighted an overview of a couple of organizations. Let's talk a little bit specifically about some examples of partnerships or community initiatives that have already been particularly impactful to this point in expanding KRA's program reach here in Summit and Medina County.
Yeah, absolutely. I think collaboration is truly at the heart of everything we do here at KRA. And it's been a driving force in our ability to expand our programs and make a meaningful impact. One of the most exciting partnerships that we've had recently is with the Ohio State Building Trades Council. We're working together with them to market a pre-apprenticeship program that provides a direct pathway into skilled trades. So this initiative is designed to introduce job seekers to fields like ironworking, electrical work, bricklaying, plumbing, and pipe fitting, industries that are experiencing significant demand for skilled workers. And through this partnership, we're breaking down the barriers to entry for individuals who may not have considered a career in the trades, right? And we help participants develop foundational skills, gain exposure to specific industry tools and practices, and connect them with these apprenticeship programs that lead to long-term careers with competitive wages. I think this collaboration addresses the critical labor shortage, but also provides job seekers with a stable, high-paying opportunity in fields that have strong growth potential. I also think another initiative is our partnerships with other, with local boards and economic development organizations. We align these efforts with these groups, and we're able to co-host hiring events, launch industry-specific training programs, and share resources that benefit both job seekers and employers. And additionally, we also collaborate with educational institutions, as I mentioned, with like community colleges and technical training centers. These partnerships allow us to offer like stackable credential programs that align with these in-demand industries. And so this provides participants with the skills they need to succeed while still meeting those employer demands that we talk about. I think our work with nonprofits and community organizations are equally important. So, for instance, we've joined forces with local housing and transportation services to address two significant barriers that often prevent individuals from fully participating in the workforce. I think by integrating these wraparound services in our programs, we're able to create a more comprehensive support system for job seekers. And I think finally, we're proud of the relationships with employers across the region. Like we've been talking about, by working directly with businesses, we can customize these training solutions and connect employers with these qualified candidates and foster ongoing dialogue to ensure that their workforce needs are consistently met. And with these collaborations, they really underscore our belief that the workforce development is a collective and collaborative effort. By bringing together these diverse partners and leveraging each other's organizational strengths, we're able to expand our reach, enhance our impact, and build a stronger, more resilient workforce in Summit and Medina counties here.
That's great. I think about what we use to measure success, and we have our WIOA performance metrics, we have our internal key performance indicators, but I would say one of the more satisfying things in workforce development in my years is seeing the collective impact that comes through collaboration, that one organization can reach many, but collectively in the community with the ecosystem of support within the local region, the collective impact makes a more lasting result in that area. So I think you sum that up with what's happening here with collaboration, and a lot's been happening here. This is the first quarter of really the work that KRA has been doing here in Northern Ohio. And I look forward to us talking more about some of the impact to come with some of the businesses and the initiatives that the team is working on here under your leadership. And so in our audience, we have people that are listening to us in different regions and also folks that are listening to us right here in our backyard. How can they find out more about what's happening? I'm sure there might be job seekers that are listening. How might they connect, or how might businesses connect with the team here in Northern Ohio?
Sure. The best way to reach out to us is our website, summitmedinaomj.org. That has our contact information to reach out to our workforce development teams in both Summit and Medina counties, and to learn more about how our workforce development area works and the different resources that are available to employers and job seekers alike.
That's great. Well, Cory, I want to thank you for your time here. Actually in the building, there's construction taking place. We're trying to keep that sound at a minimum, but this center is actually expanding into a newer part of the building. So we're excited about that. So lots happening here, but I want to thank you for your time today. I know you're busy with a lot happening, but look forward to connecting with you again in the future.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate you for the opportunity and talking today about this.
Awesome. Take care.
Thank you for listening to KRA's The Hub. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. To learn more about KRA Corporation, visit www.kra.com. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll be back soon with a new episode.